We have listen attentively, be responsible, respect everyone in this class's feelings, and bullying will not be tolerated. So have fun and get creative. So let's proceed. Also have our objectives, since our topic is all about curriculum planning and framework. So at the end of this session, we are going to identify curriculum planning and framework, analyzing the significance of curriculum, planning, and framework in education. And we also need to appreciate the importance of curriculum planning and framework in education, especially in the times of pandemic. So let's have first unlocking of difficulties. So framework is a basic structure underlying a system, concept, or text. We also have standard, a level of quality or attainment. Then OBE, outcomes-based education, is a learner-centered approach to education. So for you, what is curriculum? Yes, you have an idea. So curriculum is a design plan for learning that requires the purposeful and proactive organization, sequencing, and management of the interactions among the teacher, the students, and the standards we want students to acquire, according to Mishra in 2011. Take note, in giving adequate education to our learners, we will not forget that our goal is the learners. No, we need to set our priority to the learners to be able for them to become a successful individual in the future and be the asset for their next generation. Okay, so let's have focus and learn curriculum and planning. Or curriculum planning is a complex process where faculty define intended learning outcomes, assessment, content, and pedagogic requirements necessary for student success across the entire curriculum. So of course, by giving curriculum and planning, of course, for the education, what we need to focus on is the assessment of the student. If they really understand the topic, if they really secure their understanding, for them to also share their thoughts to others and to apply this in their daily living. Curriculum planning is the process whereby the advanced arrangement of learning opportunities for a particular population of learners is created. Of course, through their skills, talents, abilities, and even their education, they can provide proper solution or proper learnings and apply them to their in a real scenario, going to their journey and be able to become a successful individual. Okay, so I have here a video presentation and I want you to focus on it and understand what is educational planning really means. Okay.
Malia has dreams, big dreams. To achieve them, she must have access to a quality education. This is her fundamental right. Beyond this classroom, a whole system unfolds from pre-primary to adult learning. Its goal? To help Malia and her peers build a bright future. An education system includes everything from the human resources to the policies and financing that supports it. But this system doesn't just appear like magic. Without planning, the whole education system is threatened, along with Malia's dreams. So what is educational planning? It starts with all of the relevant actors coming together to create a vision for education. They anticipate the future with the resources of today. Different tools are used throughout the planning process to highlight any problem areas and help with financing and resource allocation. At the end, the stakeholders have turned the vision into a plan of action for Malia and her peers. But let's start now, because Malia can't wait. The government and education officials must lead the way and believe in the plan. It must also stay responsive to the local context, such as the geography or demography of the local population. And what if a natural disaster hits or a conflict erupts? Planning for resilience allows the system to stay afloat. When an education system is carefully planned, the fate of millions of children is protected, and Malia can build the life of her dreams.
planning for education, it leads to a better future. And same also with Malia and to the rest of our students. They are planning to have a better future, right? They want to become successful, not only to help their family, but also to prove themselves that they can do better and they can do a better version of themselves. So now let's proceed. So what is this curriculum framework? So a curriculum framework is an organized plan or set of standards or learner outcomes that defines the content to be learned in terms of clear, definable standards or what the student should know and be able to do. So aside from the video being presented there, most of the person lined with our community has a greater impact in planning the curriculum and be able to set a standards on what are the learning outcomes intended for that standards. So of course, dapat capable ang ating mga students to do the task and to be able to do the activities. That is dapat lang po sa kanilang even they have their individual differences, but yung abilidad or kapasidad lang po ng mga student. Okay? So, it also a part of the outcome-based education or standards-based education reform design. So it's the second step, defining clear high standard which will be achieved by all students. The curriculum then aligned to the standards and the students are assessed against the standards. Of course, as I've said, we need to assess the students, and by that, we teachers, we educators, we can also assess ourselves if we shared, if we give quality or adequate education to our students, that they can be able to participate, that they can be able to understand what are the education that we are assessed by them, or we are teach according to the standards given by the curriculum. And a curriculum framework is a summary of the educational issues facing curriculum development committees, discussion of how state goals and standards relate to those issues, structure to help district curriculum development committees address the student standards, and guide for planning professional development. And it also the guide of recommended instructional and assessment strategies, description of effective instruction and assessment strategies with an analysis of how they address the standards, collection of reference materials to assess curriculum development, committees and other educators, and tool to communicate the goals of the standards to the community. And as later, you will know what are the who are the person connected or be able to join the curriculum planning and be part of the society or even in the community, to be able also to look into consideration the status, the living and the lifestyle of our students and their families. So the curriculum framework is not a set of detailed lesson plans, detailed scope and sequence of curriculum objectives, or mandate for specific methodologies or progress. So there are needs and importance of curriculum planning. So the need of exactness and particularity in making decisions about ends and means demands in scientific curriculum planning. Of course, the exactness and particularity. Then, curriculum planning develop well-coordinated quality teaching, learning and assessment programs which build students' knowledge, skills, and behaviors in the discipline as well as their interdisciplinary and or physical, personal, and social capabilities. Now, we will not forget that aside from giving information, giving proper communication and learnings to our student, we will not forget also the values that we need to install into their minds and hearts, that they can do better and they can be able to share the proper values to the young generations, no? Okay, and the full range of learning needs of students are addressed. So there are two major issues as to who plans the curriculum. So we have national, state, or or state and local curriculum control, relationship of laymen, academic scholars, and elementary school and secondary school and collegiate educators in curriculum planning, parents, and etc. So first, we have national or state and local curriculum control. The existing uniformity and the national influences in the curriculum are frequently cited as an argument for stronger national curriculum control. However, many curriculum leaders have observed that the real progress in curriculum development is on a broken front. Okay. Then, schools do not achieve minimum or other standards at the same time. Neither do they develop with equal interest and success new ventures in curriculum. Due to recognition to the role of local and regional experimentation in curriculum development must be granted. Of course, aside from the different curriculum that being changes in every now and then, especially now in the pandemic, we will not forget to set a standards and at the same time accept the change, go with the change, and explore. And stakeholders and individuals or institutions that are interested in school curriculum, these stakeholders shape the school curriculum implementation. Stakeholders are great contributors in this curriculum planning because they are the one who will also help us in giving and in supplying different facilities or even different materials that the schools cannot provide or even the department needs help in that particular scenario. So the role and stakeholders in curriculum implementation. So learners at the center of the curriculum. As I've said, we need to stick our goals that the learners is our first priority. For a particular curriculum design mentioned earlier, the learner is placed at the center of the learners of every reason and the curriculum is developed. They are the ones who are directly influenced by it. Learners in all levels make or unmake the curriculum by their active and direct involvement. So as I've said, learners are the center of the curriculum. Then we also have teachers as curriculum developers and implementers. Planning and writing curriculum are the primary roles of the teacher. A teacher is a curriculum maker. He or she writes a curriculum daily through a lesson plan, a unit plan, or a yearly plan. The teacher addresses the goals, needs, interests of the learners by creating experiences from there or where the students can learn. Sundong. Kuha ka module. Ay nagsaba. Tagkuan ko na. Okay. So aside from the learners, we teachers, we as an educators, we will not forget also what is our rules. What was our rules in giving supplies, not only when it comes to materials, but also, of course, with the information or proper communication to our learners and be able to reach them with their own families. Okay, the teacher designs, enriches, and modifies curriculum to suit the learner's characteristics. As a curriculum developer, teachers are part of the textbook committees, faculty selection boards, school evaluation committee, or textbook writers themselves. Parents as part of the curriculum planning. Dong, segregate to siya dong. Parents as part of the curriculum planning. Parents' involvement extends from the confine of the schools to the homes. The parents become part of the environment of learning at home. In most schools, the parent association is organized. This organization is provided by law. Curriculum managers and administrators. In a school organization, there is always a curriculum manager or school administrator. In fact, for school principals, one of their functions being a curriculum manager. So aside from the teachers, the learners, and even the stakeholders, we will not also forget the administrators and managers are part of it. So they are the curriculum manager for them to be able to assess the teachers in if they are able to share also, if they are able to assist themselves in that particular curriculum. They supervise curriculum implementation, select the recruit new teachers, admit student, procure equipment and materials needed improvement of the school facilities and physical plans. So characteristic of a curriculum planning. So we have open-minded, of course, understanding of the values of the past practices and of the school community and traditions is important. Willing to listen, well-founded criticism in the curriculum and education must be listened to by the curriculum planners and ready to adapt. There is a wisdom adapting relevant foreign educational practices and must not resist change and experimentation. So all these characteristics of curriculum planning should impose and at the same time must be in their hearts to really provide or set standards that our students or our learners can participate and can also assess themselves and be able to be a role model in all aspects, no? Okay, so now let's have first our test that can be done. We need to, of course, open the link for mentimeter.com or menti.com, and I will give you the code number. Okay, so just click the link. Okay. Okay, congratulations. Now, let's have a reflection and make sure to write your reflection in our Google Classroom. I will send it to our Google Classroom and make sure to write your reflection. Okay, as an educator, how are you going to improve yourself in giving adequate and quality education to the learners in this time of pandemic? Okay, so I hope you learned something, and if you have questions or clarification with the topic being discussed by me, of course, I'm willing, and I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to be, of course. Okay, so there are references here in most of the videos na ginamit ko po sa aking presentation are created, and I will put in the description box yung mga link na ginamit ko po. So do not worry, you can directly download it there, and this PowerPoint presentation ilalagay ko po sa Drive para ma-download nyo na din, and you can edit this one. I will give you consent of this, and this is my subject for my Masteral at Dapitan GRNSU, Dapitan City. So I hope you learned something from this video, from this report, which is curriculum planning and framework. And if you like the video, please hit like